rapidly with the league.
Absolutely.
But what changes would you like to see for the W?
Um, I mean, the biggest one is to see these girls get paid, man. Or excuse me, see these women get paid. I do think I'm not so on the like pay us just as much as I'm not really. We got to be realistic about things. There is a business side. They're not bringing in the money the NBA is, so let's I'm cool with let's pump the brakes on that. But I do believe they should be getting paid more than what they're getting paid. There are people who work 9 to 5 to get paid more than these girls,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
teachers in America that get paid more than.
it's absurd. Yeah, like I know for a fact there are doctors with bigger salaries than some of the best players in the W.
Yeah,
And there's no knock to doctors or anything. I mean, God, we need them and they deserve their salary as well. But I think it's more reflection on the W and and what they kind of think of these players. But more so outside the play, I mean outside the pay, I think because you hear it all the time, a lot of these players complain about facilities and complain about the things around them to try to elevate them to play at this high level. For instance, the Chicago Sky is crazy. They said just up until I think this season, they were sharing locker rooms in like a YMCA. It was like a local YMCA. They were practicing and playing it, and it's like that's crazy. Like Courtney Williams explained the story. She had to go walk through the YMCA, and they were like in an open locker room with like regular civilians sharing lockers, and it's like I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that in the grand scheme, but it's just like it's kind of crazy, man. Like treat these players, get them their own facility, and I think that's why Unrivaled and stuff like that was so big because not only did they have their own arena, they actually had full-time trainers with them. It was kind of I opened their eyes to what they can expect because a lot of these girls they play high-level college, D1, LSU, and that's all they know. The facilities are top notch. You're not going to have a BS facility at a SEC or Big Ten school. You're just not.
yeah.
So then you get to the W, you make it to the pros, and it's just you don't have the tools to elevate and last long in the league. So I do think that needs to change dramatically. I think they need to invest more in their players while investing in the players themselves.
I can agree with that. You know something that I don't understand, especially with some of it's supposed to be backed by the NBA, right?
Correct.
How could the Chicago Sky not use some of the Bulls facilities? You know,
Mhm.
like it doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know the business side of it, but it's like, some of these places are in NBA cities. They should be more tied to these NBA teams. And the financial backing behind it should, I would think, include facilities. You know what I'm saying? Like that's actually wild.
I agree. I think there is a business aspect of it. Someone had to break it down for me because I didn't quite understand technically. But I mean, it's a sad reality, I think. I like to think, but I do agree. I mean, if anything, they should be sharing some type of facility with the Bulls. However, I do think a lot of the times the Bulls arena, like most arenas, when the Bulls aren't playing, they're occupied either by WWE, there's concerts, they because just like anything else, they have a schedule too. So I mean, that's still no excuse. I think you should schedule in the WNBA. Like, you know what I mean? You should be able to schedule them in. But that's probably the reason why you don't see them playing in the Chicago Bulls as well.
Yeah. Do you think, and I'm probably, oh, let me see, I lost my question. Probably jumping a little ahead. But do you think like the unrivaled created a created more leverage for the players, like heading into the CBA?
Yeah, well, I don't know about leverage, but I do think it opened their eyes up. They opened their eyes up to what they were settling for was unacceptable.
Yeah,
I don't know if it opened more leverage. If anything, I think it might have kind of caused more of a divide
yeah,
because it's almost like a slap in the face. Like you go back to the W, you're like, I got to deal with this bull. You know what I mean? Versus like the unrivaled, you're like, yo, I'm getting treated how I'm supposed to get treated. I'm one of the top players, been the top player for
yeah,
10 plus years. Like Brianna Stewart's been a top three player for forever.
yeah,
She said when she went to Unrivaled and when she finally got to Brooklyn, but when they go to New York Liberty, they're sharing the Brooklyn Nets facilities. So they're
yeah,
getting the top notch, but they're sharing the Brooklyn Nets. It's not really their own. So Even Breonna Stewart, she was like when she got to Unwrap, it was like her first time really experiencing that type of luxury. And so I think it caused a divide because definitely the commissioner wasn't a fan of it, and she's open about it. She was not a fan. Um, so I think it's a good divide, but I think it was needed so they can open up their eyes to be like, oh, this is what we deserve, and
Yeah.
what we're getting is unacceptable.